Another way to discover ARP poisoning attacks and other suspicious behavior in the network is to use Wireshark. So let's first of all fire Wireshark. And I'm gonna enable one feature here. If I go on Settings, Protocols, ARP, and detect ARP requests terms, I'm gonna tick that. That's basically going to detect whenever a device tries to discover all connected devices. So whether the attacker is using Wireshark or NetDiscover or AutoScan, whenever a device tries to detect all connected devices, Wireshark is going to be able to detect that. That's because this device is going to try to go through each IP. So it's going to go on 192.168.1.1, and it's going to send packets asking if there is a device exists on these IPs. So we're going to start sniffing on our Wi-Fi card, and I'm not going to do an ARP poisoning now. I'm just going to run NetDiscover. So just like we ran it before, we're going to choose our wireless card, and then I'm going to put my range over 24, and that's it. It's finished. It discovered everything. Now if we go back, we actually don't even need something to tell us or to give us a warning. As we can see here that it's asking for we can see that the MAC address of the target, the source is the MAC address of our attacker machine, and it's asking about each single IP. So it's asking about 30, 32, 33, 34, starting from 1 and it's going all the way up and asking if there is a device on this IP. Now if we go on Analyze and we go on the expert info, if we go on the notes, you'll see that we have an ARP packet storm have been detected, which is basically some devices trying to detect all connected devices. Let's go back here, and we're going to do an ARP poison, a normal ARP poison like we always do it. I'm going to hit enter, and the devices weren't added correctly, so I'm just going to do it again. And the groups are okay now, so we'll go back to here. So if we go on Analyze and Expert Info, we'll see that we have another warning here, and that's a duplicate IP address for 192.168.1.1, which means that the router appears to have 2 MAC addresses. And this can never happen because each device should have only 1 MAC address. So we know that someone is trying to poison us here again. So that's the 3 methods that would help us detect ARP poisoning attacks. Now if we go, let me just go here, and I'm going to go and run an ARPA. This is my ARP table. So, and as you can see that these entries are dynamic. That means that they can change and they're allowed to be changed. So one way of completely protecting your network against ARP poisoning attacks is to use static ARP tables. In static ARP tables, entries are not allowed to be changed. So once you actually put and configure the MAC address for the router, for example, that can never be changed. Therefore, when someone tries to ARP poison your device and spoof the MAC address of the router, this is not going to work because you have a static table that its value can never be changed. The only problem with using static ARP tables is that you're going to have to configure the ARP tables in each device every time there's a new device connects to the network. Because they're static, they're not going to accept any changes to them. Therefore, you're going to have to manually configure each one of them whenever there's a new device to connect to the network. But it's a solution to completely protect your network against it. It's hard to implement in large networks, but on smaller networks, it can be implemented, it can be done, and it will completely protect you against ARP poisoning attacks.